Welcome to Trial Site News Weekly Roundup. My name is Adrian, and I'll be going over some of our top news stories from this past week. Please click the subscribe button and ring the bell to be notified of future videos. This week we start our roundup with cardiovascular disease-related news. Medable joined the American Heart Association Center for Health, Technology and Innovations Innovators Network to help build the Human Heart Digitome, expected to be the largest real-world database specifically for the understanding and treatment of cardiovascular disease. Members are selected to combine their technology with AHA's digital resources to develop high-tech solutions to advance knowledge and treatment of cardiovascular disease. Other members include Livongo, Bioformis, and PAI Health. And now we turn to an Ebola virus news story. Regeneron's Regen EB3 and a monoclonal antibody developed by the NIH called MAB114, both harvested from survivors of Ebola infections, show significant promise as treatments for the deadly Ebola virus. The treatments are now being offered to patients in the Democratic Republic of Congo, or the DRC, reports the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases. NIH reports that both of these investigational treatments showed clearly better results in patients in a clinical trial of 4 potential treatments being conducted during the second largest Ebola outbreak in history, now in the second year in the DRC. MAB114 has shown great success in lowering the mortality rate from 90% to about 34%, and we'll keep an eye on this news story as it develops. And now, shifting gears to cancer-related news. Southern California's City of Hope represents the leading edge of advanced cancer research in the United States. City of Hope's Sol Priceman, PhD and assistant professor in the Department of Hematology and Hematopoietic Cell Transplantation, and his research team have received a $9.28 million award from the California Institute of Regenerative Medicine, or the CIRM, to support a chimeric antigen receptor, or CAR, T-cell phase 1 clinical trial for the treatment of women with HER2-positive breast cancer that has spread to the brain. The clinical trial, led by Jana Portnow, MD, City of Hope Associate Clinical Professor in the Department of Medical Oncology and Therapeutics Research, is testing the safety and effectiveness of the CAR T-cell therapy for breast cancer patients with brain metastasis who are not effectively being controlled with other therapies. It is estimated that nearly half of all women with HER2-positive breast cancer will eventually develop brain metastasis. Next up in cancer-related news, researchers from Harvard University's Dana-Farber Cancer Institute are in a pursuit of pancreatic cancer therapies through a surprising source, a chemical found in cannabis. So, according to the recent study, FBL03G demonstrates significant therapy potential in treatment of pancreatic cancer. Enter Flavocure Biotech. In a recent study published from Journal Frontiers of Oncology, the team found that the flavonoid derivative of cannabis demonstrates significant therapy potential in the treatment of pancreatic cancer, including radiosensitizing and cancer metastasis treatment potential. The results justify further studies. The researchers declared to optimize therapy outcomes towards clinical translation. Harvard Dana-Farber has been a key catalyst as they decided to take the therapeutic potential of FBL03G and test it against pancreatic cancer via a lab experiment. The key researcher there is Wilfred Nagua, PhD. Meanwhile, the Breast Health Global Initiative, or the BHGI, strives to develop evidence-based guidelines to enhance breast health outcomes. They are promoting collaborative approaches involving the medical community, policymakers, and civil society to build breast cancer screening awareness in Kenya. The Breast Cancer Global Initiative, or the BCGI, develops, implements, and studies evidence-based, economically feasible, and culturally appropriate guidelines for international breast health and cancer control for low- and middle-income countries to improve breast health outcomes and access to breast cancer screening, detection, and treatment for women. Now, if you are involved with clinical research or healthcare in sub-Saharan Africa or Kenya and interested in learning more, if so, contact us, TrialSide News, and we can help connect you with the organizations mentioned here. Continuing on with cancer-related news. 2 Indonesia high school students used a local lore of plants' medicinal properties in their own form of a clinical study. Attending Palangka Raya State High School in central Kalimantan, the duo presented their evidence last month at a conference in Seoul, South Korea, called Invention Creativity or WICO, W-I-C-O. The study worked 2 weeks after performing the study on a rat with cancerous tumors, and the animal was cured. Angina Rafitri and Isa Ariala Maharini used an extract from the native Bajakah tree. This traditional medicine was given to a rat with cancerous tumors. And 2 weeks later, the rat was cancer-free, reports the Good News Network. Now, these results reveal that the Bajakah tree may in fact contain a potent medicine. The 2 high school kids won a gold award for their study. Could they be on to a future potential cure for cancer? No. The Indonesian Cancer Foundation, or the YKI, reports that the public should not get carried away that a cure has been found for cancer. YKI chairman Dr. Aru Sedoyo told Compass that there are not any miracle drugs. Moreover, a compound can work on a rat, but a human being can be very different. Now, interested in connecting with Dr. Budi Wiwiko to learn more about the Bajakah tree? We included his contact information below, or you can reach out to us for our health broker services. And now turning to liver disease-related news. An investigator-initiated study driven by Arizona State University and Mayo Clinic announced the first patient in a proof-of-concept trial of IMU-838 for the treatment of patients with primary sclerosing cholangitis, or PSC. IMU-838 is an orally available next-generation selective immune modulator that inhibits the intracellular metabolism of activated immune cells by blocking the enzyme dihydroorotate dehydrogenase, or the DHODH. The proof of concept, or POC, study is a single-arm, open-label exploratory study planning to enroll a total of 30 patients with PSC, aged 18 to 75 years, who will receive 30 milligrams of IMU-838 once daily for 6 months. The trial's primary endpoint is the change in serum alkaline phosphatase, or ALP, at 6 months compared to baseline. In previous trials, a biochemical endpoint, such as a change in serum, ALP, has been an accepted biomarker of disease progression in PSC patients. The investigational product maker, Immunic Inc., or IMUX, reports in a press release that they will be supplying the medication. The study received clearance from the FDA, or IND, and the IRB review at Mayo Clinic. The study will be conducted at Mayo Clinic in Arizona and Minnesota, both of which are tertiary care centers for PSC patients. And now we turn to clinical trial-related news. There is a growing wave across the country to not only diversify clinical trials, but also ensure that those in underrepresented communities have the opportunity to join a trial. The University of Texas Health San Antonio is getting ready to do its part in this process. UT's Health San Antonio has launched an awareness campaign to educate the public and encourage engagement with clinical research called Unite Research. The Rivet Report notes are building a pipeline of awareness about upcoming clinical trials to connect volunteers to more than 250 clinical trials, including those focusing on depression, Parkinson's disease, epilepsy, and spinal cord injuries. A great number of clinical trials fail due to lack of patient participation, reports Andrea Gufrida, professor of pharmacology and vice president for research. She was quoted, and I quote, that this is a trend we see nationwide. It doesn't affect San Antonio alone. And we'll keep you updated on the story as it progresses. Meanwhile, the national push for minority and underrepresented participants in clinical trials intensifies. The latest program occurs at the University of Hawaii, where the National Cancer Institute has awarded $8 million in a 6-year grant to support the diversification of clinical trial participation with a focus on minority, rural, and patient populations. The residents of Hawaii should have access to the most advanced clinical research the nation has to offer. Hawaii, a great state, represents possibly the most diversified in the country. The program's clinical trial network includes Hawaii's Pacific Health, Queen's Health System, Kuakini Medical Center, Tripler Army Medical Center, and private practice oncology physician offices. Are you interested in participating in the clinical trial at UH? If so, you can contact the investigators below, or if you'd like to use Trial Site News Health Broker Services, you can contact us directly. Moving on. Clinical investigator site consolidation continues as deal-making goes international. Crescent Capital partner-backed Australian dedicated research site and contract research organization, or CRO, Nucleus Network recently acquired St. Paul, Minnesota-based PRISM Clinical Research for $7 million, a 52-bed facility in the University Enterprises Laboratory, a biotech-heavy business incubator. PRISM Clinical Research specializes in early-stage Phase 1 clinical trials. Nucleus Network secures a beachhead in North America to potentially further expand and compete with other private equity-backed clinical investigator site roll-ups. Trial Site News research staff carefully monitors clinical investigator site consolidation trends. The Trial Site Network includes a vast database of clinical research sites we monitor weekly. And should you be interested in partnering with these clinical research sites, you can contact them directly below or utilize the Trial Site Network broker service. Turning now to SiteWatch Challenges. The University of California, San Diego is one of the most prestigious research organizations in the country. Now, as of late, they have been charged with dropping the ball on a number of quality assurance and compliance fronts. Recently, a major whistleblower action claims that this elite research center is putting thousands of people a year at risk because they don't follow basic human protection and safety rules, according to an anonymous whistleblower. The allegations were delivered in a letter to top University of California officials on Monday, warning that what is going to happen is someone is going to get hurt. The whistleblower, and just want to remind all of our viewers that this is not proven but simply allegations from an anonymous whistleblower, that the UCSD program is the most serial non-compliant throughout the University of California system, if not the country. Now, Scott Leahy, a UCSD spokesperson, reports that a formal whistleblower investigation has been opened and the allegations will be investigated through an official process. The crux of the complaint rests on the allegation that UCSD senior leadership seeks clinical program expediency and efficiency over human safety and associated federal, state, and local regulations from there. From there, a predictable set of charges follow, from insufficient informed consent to look past conflict of interest matters to failure to follow the law when serious events require notice to the authorities. Now, we cannot be sure what is really going on in UCSD till the official investigation produces final findings. We have reported a few troubling matters at UCSD, often courtesy of iNewsSource. And the UCSD is a fine institution with an international reputation for excellence. However, we cannot ignore the seriousness of the allegations in the whistleblower's letter. We place UCSD on SiteWatch and monitor with the hopes that many of the allegations turn out to be not true. Continuing on with SiteWatch-related news. 2 nurses died inside hospital restrooms at UT Southwestern Medical Center. Both had overdosed on fentanyl, the potent painkiller used in hospitals. Now, UT Southwestern has declined to comment on the investigation and noted that it has recently improved how it tracks powerful medications. The Dallas Morning News recently confirmed the investigation by seeking documents from UT Southwestern regarding the deaths. Trial Site News will monitor this news carefully. We seek to determine the cause of these horrific situations. Meanwhile, Chinese over-the-counter drug maker Ningbo Huzi claims on its website that it produces all of its products in full compliance with FDA regulations and guidelines. However, during a recent inspection, the drug company handed over falsified documents representing an egregious violations of compliance. The inspection results were so bad that the FDA publicly called for the firm out for putting consumers at risk. Now, during the inspection, the Chinese company's general manager acknowledged that they had falsified documents for the inspection. You can follow the link to the source announcement at the FDA below. Turning now to autoimmune-related news. Case Western Reserve University School of Medicine researchers have published the result of a 3-year study investigating the chronic inflammation associated with Crohn's disease. This new research centers on the potential option for targeted pathway in the immune system to help create superior treatments. The Cleveland team, led by Dr. Fabio Cominelli, chief of gastroenterology at University Hospital's Cleveland Medical Center, sought to investigate the chronic inflammation that patients genetically prone to Crohn's disease often face. The team summarized members of the tumor necrosis factor superfamily are key regulators of intestinal inflammation and specifically tumor necrosis factor, like weak inducer apoptosis, or TWEAK, and its receptor fibroblast growth factor inducible 14-FN14, are involved in normal and pathologic tissues, remodeling their aim to determine the role of TWEAK-FN14 in Crohn's disease and murine model of Crohn's disease like ileitis, or sample 1. The Cleveland team found an increased expression of TWEAK and FN14 in tissue lesions from Crohn's patients, compared with ulcerative colitis and healthy controls. The preclinical models reveal that those without receptors had less severe inflammation. Hence, they concluded that TWEAK-FN14 are upregulated in Crohn's disease, and also mediate experimental Crohn's disease like ileitis by regulation of multiple innate and adaptive cellular pathways. Therefore, TWEAK-FN14 could represent a novel therapeutic target for the treatment of small intestinal inflammation in Crohn's disease. And now for our final story of the day. SUNY Downstate Health Sciences University investigators have identified a specific antibody targeted implicated in neuropsychiatric symptoms of lupus. The identified symptoms include cognitive impairment, mood disorders, seizures, headaches, and psychosis, the most prevalent manifestations of the disease, and occur in as many as 80% of adults and 95% of children with lupus. The team identified antibodies that are directed at regulatory brain cytoplasmic RNAs, BC ribonucleic acid, that are unique to lupus patients. In layman's terms, these antibodies disrupt these regulators of protein synthesis and allow synapses in the brain to control how they receive, store, and recall information. Because these antibodies are unique in the brains of lupus patients, the study suggests that this is the root of neuropsychiatric symptoms in these patients. The discovery offers new insight into both how and why many lupus patients suffer these symptoms, and just as important, may well provide the basic understanding necessary to scientists to pursue effective treatments. The press release authors noted minority women are 3 times more likely to be diagnosed with lupus and more likely to be afflicted at a young age. Do you have any clinical news you'd like us to report on? If so, let us know. Contact information is in the box below. Thank you for joining us for this week's Trial Site News Roundup. And remember, subscribe and ring the bell to be notified of updates. And if you'd like to see any other videos, we have some here. And we'll see you next time.